Hello, YouTube. Welcome. That was me trying to zoom out a little. Camera looks a little close today. Welcome to another exciting episode of As the Van Turns. Since this series seems to be pretty popular, we're going to go ahead and do it since, you know, I can do it on my drive. Anyhow, wanted to address an issue here and my thoughts on it and maybe an explanation that may clarify situations. I know you probably hear because of the clickbait title, but it's not really clickbait. Well, it is kind of, because it's not true. A lot of viewers on here, especially those people who actually don't do anything to help anyone, but say they would help, except for this situation. They'd help this person, but they would help with this, but, you know, those are the people who comment on my postings and stuff when I send a request out for help to try to get people to help themselves. And that's what happened with the Pay It Forward channel. That's what's going on that channel, which is getting me to the point of almost just throwing up my hands and saying, I give up. You know, I'm trying to create a channel here that people will be able to use to help themselves, to help each other, to build a community that is actually comprised of people who care about one another and will help one another. That was the point of the Pay It Forward channel, and because my emphasis, you know, what I was planning on using most of the money for was for van dwellers, I went to the Living in a Van group to request help from there and got attacked again. You know, a lot of people said they didn't see the posting, they didn't know about it, they didn't know anything about it, which could be true because the group is so busy. It's got like 20,000 members and it's pretty active. So a posting that goes up can easily scroll off within a few minutes. It scrolls into oblivion. But I pinned the postings requesting help. And then I get accused of people saying that I'm trying to start up a YouTube channel and trying to force people in there so I can monetize it for my own gains. And I have a monetized YouTube channel, and it's, you know, not the best, but this channel right here, even though it's small, has enough kind people on it that it's actually about to end my homelessness. So it's not like I'm out there trying to make another monetized channel for my own gain. The whole point of trying to get another monetized channel was to generate income to help the people who are part of that channel. But I digress, you know. It got me so tired and depressed fighting all those people, especially since it was the very same group I was trying to help. Those are the same people enjoying all the benefits of the Living in a Van group. I know a lot of them probably don't even know there's like a ton of files that were created initially when the group was first put together. I put together a library of files, links, and helpful stuff. I mean, even now, like on the YouTube channel, you'll see people referring me to Cheap RV Living, Bob Wells. I was actually one of the people helping to promote him in the beginning. Not to help him as far as before he started, because he was already somewhat known. But when I put together the Living in a Van, he was one of the links that was provided because his information is useful. And there are a lot of other links on there, like how to, you know, get your address, and just how to build out your van, how to lay out the plans, just lots of stuff. It's all in the files section of the Living in a Van. And that was generated, as well as how to get free camping, where to camp, what to do. And I'm, you know, and still in process of developing an app of some type or a website to show where it's safe to park. And the Pay It Forward channel was my hope to actually obtain land and stuff to develop parking for travelers, RVers, as well as van people to freely park, or, you know, pay a minimal price, nominal price if they can afford it, but if not, it's free. But those things were projects that I was hoping to generate revenue for, and I wanted the people who were going to be using those services to help contribute to it. And the only thing I asked them to do was just hit a subscribe button to get the count up so we could go live and actually start producing content. I didn't even ask them to watch it if they don't want to watch it. But a lot couldn't even be bothered to do that. But what they could be bothered to do was to start attacking me and my character and my intent on my own channel that they were allowed to be on. And I know some of you say, why is Denoy attacking back? It's like you're helping somebody and then they're stabbing you as you're trying to help them. You know, I did a story when I was a newspaper reporter for the Air Force about lifeguards. You know, the swimming pool, the base swimming pool had lifeguards. I did a story about the lifeguards and what it's like being a lifeguard. And one of the things that one of the lifeguards told me was this. So they see somebody drowning and they approach that person drowning. And the first thing they tell that person to do is to stop thrashing about, to just lay there and let the lifeguard come in and pull them out. Just work with the lifeguard, okay? You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just stop thrashing, stop moving, stop fighting. Let the lifeguard pull you out. All you have to do is cooperate. Well, if the person doesn't cooperate, if the person does not stop thrashing and screaming and going crazy, the lifeguard will actually turn around and leave and let them drown. I said, why would you do that? And they said, well, I can't help them. If I try to help them and they start thrashing and pulling, they'll pull me under too. So in that case, there'll be two of us that need help out there. And it'll be too late because there's someone else to save us. So a lifeguard going out to help somebody and they don't want to cooperate, they start thrashing and kicking and pulling and screaming, the lifeguard will actually stop where they are and turn around and leave. That's what I feel like doing and felt like doing and contemplating doing, because, you know, I'm not even secure right now, and a lot of the channel angels, especially those who have invested a lot of time, energy, and even money to try to get me to this point, to try to get over this last hurdle to get me out of homelessness, out of this pit that I think people who have never truly been homeless without many resources available do not understand. It is nearly impossible to get yourself out once you've been put into this situation or put yourself there or whatever happens to throw you into that homeless situation. It is nearly impossible to get out without outside help. And I was just reading another thing. I don't know if you guys heard Lito's Law, his channel and stuff. They're talking about homelessness and how I guess cities are cracking down on homelessness and going against homeless people van dwelling and stuff like that. And one of the guys on there commented that it takes $10,000 to get someone out of homelessness, and that's giving that person $10,000 directly. And my calculations are, he's about correct. The amount's going to be $10,000 given or take a few $1,000s, assuming that the person doesn't have a whole bunch of other debt that's constantly pulling money out. Let's say they're completely homeless, but they don't have like the state constantly trying to pull money from them, okay? It would be $10,000 would be enough to do a reset where you can get a place to stay, get a vehicle, get a job, and return back to life like normal. But if you can't raise $10,000, okay, you're going to be stuck in the pit forever. Now, the people who have been helping me, they obviously didn't donate $10,000 right up front, although I will tell you a sizable amount, especially from a certain angel who I'm just so touched by, you know, what this person has done. And basically I've had about ongoing right here for the last, I guess the last year, and mostly the last 2 or 3 months, there's been like 3 people that have still contributed, like immensely contributed to try to keep me going forward and not sliding back too far. You know, I know you guys have heard of Charles. He is kind of mysterious, but even to me, he's kind of mysterious. although I'm not going to go into too much detail. It's too personal, but I will tell you this, okay, he's a good friend and has been behind the scenes, and I consider him the guardian of Little Blue. You know, he's always been there, has tried to make sure that this vehicle you see me sitting in is always running, and that I'm going to be all right. Well, not all right, but at least all right enough, good enough. Have a vehicle that I can drive, that I live in, that I can go back and forth to work. That's been kind of Charles's thing, okay? So he did that for me just out of the blue, but he's done more than that, okay? I'm going to tell you some little secrets. I guess, you know, this is kind of a sneak peek behind the channel, because I need to let you guys know that what you see isn't everything. what you see on YouTube is what, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes of each day that I choose to record, and I get to pick what I record. And you need to know that, because there are channels that selectively pick certain things because they want to paint a certain picture. My channel, I just show things as they are, even if they look bad. And people will misinterpret them, especially the haters and the trolls, and run with it. And then others jump in and join them and start the, let's grab the pitchfork, let's get the fire, let's light him on fire sequence of events, which then I have to come in and delete and remove people. And some of those people weren't instigators, but they're followers and always willing to follow the haters and the trolls. So protect your heart, people. Protect your mind. Trust your gut. You know, but we'll get into that later. But meanwhile, let's go back. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scene. Like even with Charles, he sent the ECM, PCM computer. That was expensive. But he supposedly has a friend who runs a scrapyard, so it wasn't too bad for him. But then he had to go out to the scrapyard to get it. He even looked it up, looked up the model number, had it reprogrammed, paid for it to have it reprogrammed, paid to have it shipped to me. Okay? That's how much he ended up doing. And you're like, why would he do all that? Because he knew, or he knows, okay, I don't know how he knows, but he knows that people who are in dire straits, people who are down and out and barely able to survive on a daily basis, do not have the capability to be looking things up, tracking things down, doing all the stuff that a normal person can do, simply because they are busy just trying to stay alive. You know, dealing with the police, not getting enough sleep, trying to work, trying to deal with the state, trying to deal with the courts, trying to deal with all these other things. And he stepped up and he did all this background, little bits of work for me, and went as far as sending it to me and sending me video links on how to replace the stuff. And sent extra money to help with diagnosis and buying the computer checkup kit. All sorts of stuff that doesn't necessarily get covered, although, you know, I could sit there and talk about Charles all day long, because he's been there for, what, about 2 years or more? He's been there through everything, okay, and extremely kind soul. And just to let you know, he and I don't agree politically on certain things, so you don't have to agree on everything to help somebody, okay? Or to receive help from someone, or to accept help from someone. It is possible to have compassion without involving politics. But anyhow, I wanted to point out that for a reason. And some of the episodes you saw me do that seemed like off the wall or crazy stuff, they were done at the suggestion of Charles or other what I call channel angels and stuff, because they're friends and they thought it would help, and if nothing else, it gave us a laugh. It's almost like a personal joke, you know, like if you wondered what was up with the pizza tree. Thank Charles for that, you know. He was trying to help me produce some kind of viral video, because some guy grew an egg and it had like 20 million views or something. He planted an egg, and that video had like millions and millions of views. 20 million views would have been more than I've had for the whole channel so far, and it would have been enough to take me completely out of debt and out of homelessness. So just so you know, those are the kind of things that occur behind the scenes, because it turns out that the people trying to help me realize that just giving advice and stuff isn't enough when somebody's at the point of drowning. You got to throw a rope, you got to throw something to hold them up, and then you got to somehow approach them and swim in and save them without them pulling you under. And that's what's going on. Now, for the clickbait title, and the reason I put this in the middle is for those who keep skipping, you know, they watch 2 seconds and then start commenting and then spewing hate and stuff, when the information was right there in the video, but they didn't choose to watch or listen. But they will give their opinion. A lot of people said that I was misusing Connie's money as well as the other angels who send me money and stuff. One, you don't know everything you're not privy, you don't know everything that goes on behind the scenes, okay? 2, I haven't misused anybody's money. Essentially, if somebody donates money, I try to make sure that, one, it's not going to put them in dire straits, because I know a lot of people on my channel are struggling financially. That's why they come here. They either came here because they randomly stumbled upon it, which is rare because, you know, the Google or whatever, YouTube and stuff, they kind of track what you watch, and so they kind of know, they build kind of a profile of you, a digital profile, so they know what you like, kind of, and they make a suggested video to you. And these people come here because they either are contemplating van life, or they're downsizing, or they're saving money. They're trying to save money. They're frugal. Or they're dealing with the police, or they're dealing with child support issues. Or they're building a hut in the woods somewhere. Or a yurt, or trying to survive in the woods. It just depends on the subject matter, that the video that brought them here, okay? Some of them are military, ex-military, just like me, veterans. And police. But basically, all the topics that get covered on this channel are the people who get drawn here. So these are the people that we have here, okay? So I know that for the most part, most of my viewers, I don't say all, but most of my viewers are in similar financial situation. Not all of them. Some here are in better shape than others. But I don't think I have any like millionaires or gazillionaires on this channel, even though it might seem like it to some of you. What I have are people who understand the value of money. They understand that money actually isn't anything. And you're like, what? Now, money is the root of all evil. Yeah. Think about that. It is money that causes people to lie, to cheat, to steal. It is money that makes people think they have power over somebody else. It is money that causes people to kill each other. Now, if you read the Bible and stuff, money is not a good thing. It's a necessary evil in our society that we've created. And sadly, we do need money in this society. Me personally, money is nothing. And you're like, well, you're constantly begging for money. I would say I beg to differ. I actually haven't really ever tried to beg for any money or even ask for money. I find it very hard to ask for money. Generally, when the fundraisers and stuff started, it's because one of the people who eventually became an angel kept pushing me to make a GoFundMe or asking me for PayPal donations, how they donate, and they would like me to set it up because they know that they themselves are not going to be able to completely help me by themselves. They're not a millionaire, they're not super rich, but they want to help out a fellow human. You're like, well, they just don't know that you're a scammer or whatever you think I am. Maybe they don't, or maybe they know more than you do. And typically, that's how like the GoFundMe for the new home for me came about, and that's how we ended up with the RV. And then the RV ended up causing another problem because now money became an issue. You know, money was always an issue, but not like as pressing as when I had the RV, because there was a really high probability of losing the RV if I could not maintain enough money for rent, because I was still getting hit and am still getting hit by the state for child support. And then another person, another channel angel, Timothy, stepped in at that point, and I'll be honest, he's why I'm still here and still have the RV. You know, he's actually been paying. He was paying the majority of the rent, and now for the next month or two, I think he's covering the full rent just to cover me long enough to try to get back on my feet. He can't keep going because he's not rich. I would say he's rich in heart, rich in kindness. Probably the best kind of richness, because as I told you before, money is nothing. Money is the root of evil. People amass like huge amounts of money, and then they can't take it with them when they die. Some people have so much money, yet they still commit suicide. Think about it. There's a lot of celebrities who have money, they have fame, they have wealth, yet they don't want to live. Now, back to the topic, the headline, me misusing people's money, okay? Typically, for those of you who don't give, whether it's to me or anyone else, when you say, I would give, but, okay, there's nothing that stops you from giving but you and your perceptions and your fears and your experiences, or maybe even what you would do. What I have found with me personally is the people who give me trust my judgment. They give because they want to give. And I have stated on here because, you know, it became an issue with so many people complaining. They really don't understand, okay, why I spend the money the way I do. A lot of people saw me showing all sorts of items I was buying for the RV, like toaster ovens, TVs, all those things. When they said, why aren't you spending that money fixing the RV that was donated? First off, that was my money. Okay, that was money I earned, and I made a decision that the priority was to make the RV habitable, to make it livable and usable, and that the mechanical repairs and stuff are not as critical, because I don't want to, it's a money pit. Anyone who has ever tried to restore an RV, especially one in as poor shape as good enough, will know this is an ongoing money, it's an ongoing money pit. It will be, it can be, and it is, if you allow it to be. So you have to kind of set your limits on what you're willing to do, how much you're wanting to spend, how much you're willing to spend, how much you can afford to spend. And with my income level, I wasn't going to fix it mechanically. You know, it ran good enough, and if it dies, it dies. But as long as it ran good enough to park at Maxwell's place, I didn't care if it died there, because I thought I was going to stay there a long time, at least a year or two. And then I was actually going to give the RV away, which I may still do when this is all said and done, to somebody who needs it. But anyhow, I bought all those things to make the RV nice and habitable, so that when my kids come, I can cook for them, I can actually eat, I can survive. And certain viewers sent me money, okay? Specifically Connie, who has, I guess, just as Charles became the guardian of Little Blue 2, the van, Connie has kind of become the guardian of the RV, between Connie and Timothy. Timothy's, I guess, not just the guardian of the RV, but just the guardian of just trying to keep me alive long enough. He's like holding me up right now, okay? I'll be honest. Timothy is literally holding me up. And then Connie has jumped in, has done... The problem is this, if I keep talking about these people and stuff, people go, oh man, how can they be so kind? How can they do all these things? They must be rich. They're not rich, okay? They do these things because they understand the value of money. And when I say that, I don't mean they know that money is worth something. No, money is a tool. It's a means of getting something done. In this society, money is important for rent, for all these things. But if you saw me living in the woods, I wasn't paying rent, okay? Money means nothing. Compassion and kindness and the ability to help people, that means way more than money. And unfortunately, that's not as easy to measure. So when people send me money, they often send it trusting that I'll put it to good use, whatever I feel is appropriate. Whether it be RV repairs, or taking my kids out, taking my wife out, doing whatever. Buying a TV set, buying a video game, whatever. It doesn't really matter. And if it did matter to them, I did tell people on there, put it on your note, you know, to the money, how you want the how you want the money to be spent. And I actually try not to have people sending me money or any item unless I request it. But I haven't been requesting it, and then people felt they need to send stuff, which is what happened with Connie. She sent me money, okay? And then when I made the call out to let her know, and all the other viewers know, you know, that if the money was to be spent specifically for something, please note it on there and let me know. And you guys don't know behind the scenes, but I'm going to give you a little bit of stuff behind the scenes. A lot of the viewers were pushing for me to climb up on the roof of the RV to repair the roofing, which will take a bit of time, and it's kind of difficult for me to do in stealth mode at the RV park, because if I do that, they're going to come by and say, what are you doing? Because it'll look like I'm doing repairs and stuff, and that it's not allowed there, okay? It's a potential problem. The second issue with it was, she actually sent me Remember I told you she gave me the bed? She didn't just give me the bed. She gave me a substantial amount of money to do repairs. And then when we did the segment on, you know, what needed to be done, she felt that I needed to get a ladder and actually sent me links to buy a ladder online with Amazon with shipping. Sent me money, a couple $100s to get a ladder and to get it shipped. And you guys didn't see that because I didn't film it. But it was stuff that was going on even while everything else was going on. But I ended up telling Connie that I didn't really need a ladder. You know, I have a ladder. I knew where I had a ladder. It was at the hut, which I went and I picked up, which I don't know if you saw in another episode, or you will see when I start using it. But I had built like a 8 or 10 foot ladder that I can use to get access to the roof of the RV. At least, you know, I can't climb on it, but I can get up to the point where I can actually access the RV roof and work on it from the ladder. And I saw no point in spending $300 to $200, whatever, or $150, $200 for a ladder and shipping it here when I have a free ladder that I could just go pick up, which I did pick up, by the way. So, because I didn't use that money, I sent it back to Connie. Yes, I send people refunds all the time. Just so you know, I don't necessarily take their money and run. If they send me money for a specific purpose or use, and they didn't ask me about it beforehand, but it comes to me and they say, I want you to use this money to buy a drone so that you can film yourself. I oftentimes will send that money back and say, you know, I don't need the drone. I've got a lot more critical stuff right now than the drone to produce better video footage. Or sometimes I'll go ahead and buy a drone. And then people say, why are you wasting money on a drone? My point is this. Unless you know specifically the details and you start accusing me of misspending, misappropriating funds, where do you get that? Especially if you haven't donated anything. And you go, well, you're trying to guilt people. No, I'm telling you the truth. The people that you will see complaining about how I spend other people's money haven't donated anything other than trying to tell other people to not help somebody in need. And in my case, if people don't want to donate, that's fine. You know, I don't really push for donations other than, you know, people who want to support the channels for the Patreon, because that will run the channel. And they're the ones making a lot of these videos possible on the live streams. It's because of the patrons signing up. It gives me like a steady, semi-steady income that can be used to pay like the phone bill, to pay for equipment, to pay for video production, or even to pay for me to go out and eat, you know, to live. That's where the money's being used. When people send me money like Connie did, and I end up not using it, I send it back. She even sent me even more money. Okay? And we had our communications. I have communications with her. It may be enough money to potentially end my homelessness completely. Let that sink in. Okay? I've been struggling for 11 years here to try to get myself out. And especially the last 3, 4 years, 6 years really, has been extremely difficult. And I fell into this pit and was stuck. And a bunch of little help came by. People came by and kept me alive long enough, you know, extending a hand here, extending a hand there, pushing me up, boosting me up, keeping me afloat just from drowning is at the level I was at. And then certain people came in because I was alive long enough that actually decided to try to boost me up completely. They're like, you know, he's almost at the edge of the hole. All we have to do is kind of lift him up. And that's what Charles, Timothy, Connie, several other people. There's still people donating to the Patreon. I mean, not the Patreon, the GoFundMe for the homeless thing. Trying to get me out of this last hurdle. Okay, because I'm right at that edge right now, where if I can make the transition, I can actually not be in a crisis mode anymore. Now, I thought I was strong enough, and against the advice of a lot of the channel angels, these are the people who give me the huge money, the money to try to boost me out, because they have a vested interest. You know, they're giving their hard-earned money to try to get me to the point where I'm stabilized and able to be safe, completely safe, before trying to help others. Because they know what it's like to be a lifeguard, to go out there and try to save someone and have that person kicking and screaming and pulling you under. And they knew that if I tried to help people, that's what would happen, which I already knew also. But I thought I was strong enough to handle it, because a lot of the people who were boosting me up along the way, you know, they were also in the water too, drowning, you know. And they held me up long enough for somebody like Charles, like Connie, like Timothy, like Kira, like all these people, all the patrons, all those people helping me right now. All the people that saw the videos and decided to chip in and help. They held me up long enough to be seen, and some of those people need help themselves, and that's why I wanted to create the Pay It Forward channel and try to have these people there, because I wanted people to be available to help each other. The channel was supposed to be a close-knit community of people helping one another, and since a lot of it was going to involve, on my personal front, helping the homeless, helping the people living in a van who aren't there by choice, those were the people I wanted to involve. And when I jumped into it and went on to the Facebook group and pretty much got attacked by that same group of people, it was extremely disparaging. But, you know, out of that, a couple people came up and are taking up the I guess the banner and running with it. A couple of the people who do need help. So I'm still debating what to do, whether or not to cancel the whole channel, because it is a lot of work and pulling me from getting myself out of this hole that I'm in. I'm right at the lip of ending my homelessness, and yet I took on a major project to try to pull other people out. And what it's doing, I don't know if you can see that, it's pulling me down, because those people aren't helping. They're not, they're kicking and thrashing and trying to pull me under, even as I'm trying to help them. And sadly, I'm not a rested swimmer. I'm not a rested lifeguard. I'm actually exhausted. You know, I'm trying to get myself out right now. I'm not even promoted to lifeguard. I'm one of the people who was drowning just a moment ago, just like them. So I'm debating if I'm going to cancel the Pay It Forward channel and just take care of myself, close my stuff, and just leave everyone out on their own, or if we're going to proceed with it, or what. So at this point right now, it's in limbo. My gut feeling says, give it up. You know, these people evidently don't want help. If you try to help someone and you tell them they need to help themselves, and they start attacking you as a result, then these people don't really want help. What they want is a handout. What they want is somebody to just do everything for them. You know, they don't want to even participate. Like we say, that, what is it, the little red hen? You know, who will help me grow the wheat? Who will help me harvest the wheat? Who will help me make the flour? Who will help me bake the bread? Throughout each stage, nobody wants to help the little red hen until she was done with the bread. Then everybody wants to come and eat it. That's what life is like. And just so you know, the money is not being misspent. The person donating the money knows exactly where the money's going. And if it looks like I'm spending money on frivolous stuff, that's my money. You're like, well, you should be focusing your money on the RV and stuff. No, the people who want me to put the money on the RV, they've already sent me money for the RV, and that's what money is going to be used to repair the RV. Me, I'm using my money like I normally would, on my family, on getting things nice, on making things to the point where it is, you know, a comfortable home. I'm spending my money the way I want to spend my money. And the people who are donating money, they don't have any problems with it. You know, a lot of people say, I do with it as you feel comfortable with what you want to do with it. That's why they're donating. It's without condition. They're donating because they want to be kind. They want to help. The people that you'll see posting on there, negative stuff, saying that I'm misusing money, people should stop donating, blah, 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 blah. I need help. Now come help me. read that again and think about it and understand exactly what they're doing. And if you respond to that and say, yeah, Denoy is evil, I'm going to go help this person. It's good that you want to help that person, and you can go ahead and help that person, but understand where they're coming from. They actually didn't help anything. They're trying to stop some other people from helping somebody and to divert it to them. And these are the same people I was trying to help, but that's the kind of person, the kind of people that have been attacking me as I'm trying to help them, which is very discouraging and despairing me. To the point right now, I'm like, you know what, maybe I need to step back. Maybe I need to resign as admin of the Facebook group, because it's so depressing to set all this up, to create this community that I thought would be a support network, and I have supported them. I've tried to help people with it. I've tried to direct people. I allow people to link themselves, their YouTube, to grow their Instagram, to grow all their stuff. We allow people to promote their businesses on there, unlike a lot of the other groups. All this to help people who are van dwellers, because it's a struggle, okay? And so that's what makes the Living in a Van Facebook group different than a lot of the other groups. We allow cross-promotion. We allow people to post their videos. We allow people to announce themselves and their Instagram and whatnot. But as soon as I do, I post something, I get attacked. And they're like, you're taking advantage of this group. You're taking advantage of... I'm like, wow, you people are something else. But, you know, that is the nature of people, isn't it? And maybe that's why, like, a lot of times I don't really like dealing too much with people. That's why you always see me out in the woods in a little hut somewhere by myself. You know, I'm not I guess I'm not a people person. At least I you know, even though I've been sharing my life out here, and some people think I am, and of course in public affairs and things like that, but honestly, on a personal basis, I'd rather be out there with the manatees and the dolphins and the squirrels, because for them, things are up front, you know? You're either a friend or you're not. You're either going to help them or you're not, and they can tell. But anyhow, those of you who are worried about me misappropriating funds and stuff, you don't have to donate anything to me, okay? It's not a requirement. It's not even a request. You know, people who want to donate, they'll donate, and people who want to have their donation go towards a specific cause, they've been doing that. And if the people who have been giving me money don't have any issues with it, why should you? Think about that. So until next time, everyone, take care. God bless you all. I appreciate all of you for your continued support. I appreciate all of you who are helping with donations, and even those of you without donations. What I don't appreciate are all the haters and the people trying to put down people who help other people, because that's negativity. And right now, especially right now with what I'm going through, dealing with deciding whether or not I want to continue to try to extend my hand out to help the community, the homeless and the van dwelling community, when I myself still am not completely out of homelessness. I don't need all that negative energy, because I think it's important to surround yourself with positivity and positive people, and people working towards your common goal, not people who are attacking you along the way, especially people who are attacking you as you're trying to save them, as you're trying to help them. And if that's the case, you know, just like the lifeguard, I have to cut the line and let you go. So keep that in mind with your comments, and know that I feel bad about it, because you are one of the people I was trying to help. But I can't let you pull me under, especially since I'm still not safe myself. So until next time, take care, be safe, and protect your heart.